So John gives us these credentials. And it will interest us to know that anyone that doesn't have the credentials that John makes available is a false minister. A false minister is different from a heretic minister. The ministers we call false now are actually heretic. They have transcended the boundaries of truth. They are swimming in the waters of relativism. So are you still with me? So they have gone out. But a false minister, you become a false minister when you refuse to yield to the dealings that God has allocated for you to perfect you. It means that there is an aspect of the flesh that you have decided to protect. All of Satan's success at manipulating your life will be based on that appetite that you did not allow God to puncture. When you find people lacking in deep convictions, when you find people very liberal about things that are absolute in Scripture, the reason for their liberality is not because they are not adequately enlightened. The reason is because there is an aspect of the flesh that is still in authority in their ecosystem. And because of the authority of that aspect of the flesh, they are not absolute in their convictions. They are like Simeon. And you know the meaning of Simeon? It's a certain weed by the seashore that is so flexible. The stem is flexible, and any direction that the waves come from, it will bend along that path. And that's why Jesus had to change his name from Simon. He changed his name to Peter, a pebble. That if you want to remember the seashore, be a pebble, something that the waves cannot bend. That is a description of the depth of conviction that must accompany our service of God. There is a generation that is coming that does not know conviction. And this generation that is coming has been pampered by ministers that do not understand the heartbeat on God's mind. They've been pampered to believe that the goal of our Christian life is measured in terms of houses, is measured in terms of vehicles. In fact, in keeping with this extra biblical emphasis, even recognition in the house of God is according to financial value and financial capacity. And it's a subtle influence that is altogether colonizing the entire household of God. And so a generation of ministers are rising that no longer know the dealings of God. And you cannot become a man of God if you are not dealt with by God. There are actually two approaches to become someone that God can use to influence a generation. Because if God is going to use you to influence a generation, it must be seen that there is no external factor, no situation, no pressure from the external avenues that have the ability to control you because of the depth of your conviction. I